everybody. We are back with another episode of Tales from the Tavern. I hope you all are having a great Sunday. Thank you for all the nice things you were saying about Tales from the Tavern in chat today. Love you guys. You're the best. We have a great panel of people here, a little mix of people who have been here before and people who haven't. So I'm going to have everybody go around and introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and where we can find you on social media. So Mel, we're going to start with you.
Hello, I'm Mel. I am an artist on my own stream here on Twitch, Jelly Melly Draws. I like to stream every Saturday morning and work on commissions and personal pieces. I've done character art, TTRPG item art, and even Twitch graphics. I've done a lot of stuff. But what I enjoy, other than doing the art, is playing Dungeons & Dragons. And as such, I get to do that twice a week, Thursdays, Sundays, over at Lionhead Gaming, where I play my bubbly Dream Druid Persephone, or my very, very bitter, tragic nymph, Nyx.
Yes, and you should definitely follow Mel's streams, because then you get to be a jelly bean. True story.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, I'm super glad it worked out for your schedule this week, Mel, because we only get to have you on when you don't have a stream. So
yeah, basically.
All right, next we're gonna go to JV.
Hi everyone, I'm JV Hampton Van Sant, pronouns they, she. I am a podcaster, a writer, and a voice actor. In an alternate order to whatever I just said. Probably voice actor first, podcaster second, writer third. I have a podcast called JV Reads the Tea, where I read tarot cards for my guests. It's always quite a fun and exciting time. I barely know how to read, or I guess I'm getting better at it, so it's fine. But it occasionally gets deeply unhinged, and it's very fun. Occasionally the cards decide to prank me when I have someone on who is, to me, extremely famous, and I'm very excited about it. And then they only choose to talk about home decor, which I will never forget that they did that to me. It was so embarrassing. Anyway, so I'm most frequently on Twitter, just, I don't know, saying whatever, just talking and having fun over there. Yeah, that's me. That's what I do.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming to join in tonight. I super appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to chatting a little more. Now, if you are here and you don't know Remove Disc, that's your fault, because Disc is on our Wednesday night stream every week. So, Disc, tell us a little about you.
Hello, I am Remove Disc. Yes, I'm on the Wednesday night stream, 50 Shades of Crimson. It's a lot of fun. I play Martov the Collector. It's a very fun time there. Definitely check us out if you haven't. And yeah, a little bit about myself. I have been playing tabletop RPGs since I was like 16, so like 10 years now.
Wow, that long. I was going to say like 3 or 4.
Yeah, young, but it's fun. I usually play Pathfinder, so it's a lot of fun.
Yes, and you are darn good at it too.
I try.
Well, thanks for coming to hang out. I've been looking forward to having you on again for a while, so I'm glad it worked out with scheduling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And next we'll go over to Shan.
Why? Hey everybody, my name is Shan. You'd find me, I guess, not on any streams yet, but I have 2 of them coming very soon. One of which is going to be my own homebrew world, which is going to be Aramis, Towers of Heaven. And then, because I'm a White Wolf dork, I will also be doing an Exalted game using isekai nonsense in order to make it just way, way, way more funny. Yeah, you can also follow me over at Lunar Hell Gaming. I'm literally reading the ad copy that we wrote to remember all this nonsense, because I'd never remember it. I never remember this stuff. Yeah, you can also follow me over at Luna Howl Gaming. I don't do a lot yet, but that channel is about to come very, very busy. So, I hope you all join me. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on and hanging out. And next we'll go over to Casey.
Hello, everyone. My name is Casey Williams, aka the Adjunct GM. On the Prime Material plane, at least, I am a English teacher and reporter in a place not far from Nashville, Tennessee. But on the internet, I stream tabletop RPG content, including live plays and interviews. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm working on that one still a little bit. But you can find me on different channels, including my own, the Adjunct GM. Playing games and talking about games and having fun with it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming back on. I'm excited to chat more with you guys. So, I am Gamer Mom Luna. This is Tales from the Tavern. If you have not been with us before, the way that this works is we ask our chat to ask us questions. So you can go ahead and drop your questions right into chat. We have a moderator who will make sure that we get them. And usually what happens is I will start off with a question. So if you guys want to start throwing stuff into chat, feel free. But the first question that I am going to ask everybody is, when you are playing at an actual table using real dice, do your dice have to match?
Yes.
If I were to one day play at a table, my dice don't need to match like each other. They just need to match my character.
That's fair.
I hear that a lot, actually.
If I have a set that all matches, I take the whole set out for a game. Though I definitely have some D20s that I bought just as D20s that come out as well that just don't have a set. I got some the other day that have that like glitter gel infill, so it looks like they have like a swirly interior.
Oh,
I don't have a set of those,
that.
but the D20s are amazing, so whatever.
I've always been intrigued by those, but I worry about the balance of them. Ooh, those are pretty.
Yeah, I love my.
Oh, wait, are we showing off dice on the stream?
Oh,
Alright, hold
Sure,
on.
do
I
it.
do love this.
These are my dice for Persephone, greens and pinks.
Oh, mine are upstairs.
Oh, no, I don't have my. Oh no, I don't have my bag. It might be in my bedroom. Alright. I'll go get it. I'll get it later to show off my dice. Oh.
We mentioned World of Darkness campaigns. There's no way I have a matching set of D10s, though. Those are just all of one dice from each of my set, or my collection, contributes to my World of Darkness games.
Like last ones I was using are these ones, which are simply like regular. I don't even remember where I got these. I know I got them from somewhere like in person, and I was like surprised they were there. But like it, but I got them simply because they're black and gold. So my solution to this is constantly just, if you have a vibe that you just sort of stick with, like constantly. My username on here is red, black, golden. I have a theme, and I just sort of stick with it. With the noted exception of the fact that this wig is blue, but underneath this my hair is vibrant red right now, so there is that. So if I stick with that theme, then everything just sort of falls into place, and I don't have to worry about whether or not the color is gonna match. And I always find a reason that it would work for whatever character I'm going with.
I just got a brand new set that I can show off. So these were the Kickstarter from, oh my gosh, who was it? Now I can't remember who it was. I will look and I will, but anyway, this was the set that I ended up getting. So they're like a frosted, but there's like glitter on the inside. I don't know if my camera's picking it up or not.
Yes.
Want.
Oh my God.
So
FOMO engaged. I didn't do that Kickstarter.
yeah, Skull Splitter.
Desire.
That's what it is.
So yeah, so I ended up with a set of 2d20s, 4d6s, and then the rest of the polyhedral set. And I was like, this is so cool. Where am I going to store these? Because nothing is big enough for that many. So I'm just going to have to... Well, yeah, I'm just going to have to, like, knit myself a new dice bag once I finish the one that was commissioned from me, like, 4 months ago. But they're really nice, so...
I have a customized dice bag that a friend of mine made for me one Christmas, probably like 5 or 6 years ago. And it has my name on it, and then on the other side is like a wolf anagram and like my favorite shade of green.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah. And yeah, it keeps all my devil beasties in line so that they know if they start rolling ones, they go into the demon bag. And so they behave themselves.
I don't have the dice in my office right now, but my brother got me some from a Kickstarter from a company I really enjoy. Elder Dice is probably one of my favorite for dice, and I don't know if you're familiar. They make some great designs that come in these little tiny dice boxes that are books.
Oh, I need to
I
look these
love
guys
that.
up.
Oh, that's cool.
The
I think the
vibe.
company is Astral Black.
That is such a vibe. Oh my god, I love it so much.
It matched so perfectly. I was playing a Glamour Bard / Fey Warlock in a campaign that went like 2 years, and my brother was like, "Sigil of the Dreamlands. That sounds like Casey would dig that," and I did.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
I also have a match set of the Black Lives Matter dice done by, I want to say Heart Dice forever ago.
Yep, I remember
Die
those.
Hard Dice. Or Heartbeat, one or the other.
Yeah.
Heartbeat dice, I think, yeah. And
Those are gorgeous.
Oh yeah. And because I'm usually a GM, I don't play that much, but when I'm rolling and somebody gets hit by that fist, I'm like, yeah!
Yeah.
That BLM comes up, I'm like, wow!
Yes.
That's
I also
awesome.
like
Heartbeat was some of the best dice, just like quality wise.
I also like to get dice bags that match the dice, that match the character. So this particular one is from Magic and Stitchcraft, and this is for my nymph, Nyx, and of course,
That's super
in them
nice.
are her dice. But what I really like about them is that they have these little flowers on top that clip off.
Oh, that's baller.
What flavor
I
of
love
Crown
it.
Royal comes in that bag?
Oh, in this one, this
on,
one
Eric,
are gemstone dice for that character. Because she's my character for our Odyssey of the Dragonlords game. So she is an Ore nymph, which is like the stars. So blue goldstone for that. So they're blue, dark
beautiful.
blue, and sparkly with Grecian-esque letters.
That's awesome.
Perfection.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Do y'all get new dice when you have a new character that you think is going to last a while?
Yep.
I definitely, like, as soon as I make a new character, anywhere I go, I'm like, that dice would really match them. That's the thing.
I
I
usually wait a bit. Normally because you don't know how long character is going to last, but because I don't do the dice based just on their color palettes, but based on like their personality, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a brute fighter tiefling, and her color palette was not compatible with any dice I was going to find. She had like magenta skin and really dark, almost black purple hair and orange eyes. And I was like, trying to find dice that matched that palette was a mess. But she was hard-headed and stubborn. So I came to the realization that metal dice would work with her.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. I should have done that for the last character that I wound up playing it, but we also like barely wound up rolling. We wound up barely rolling dice actually throughout the whole game. Which I think I would say I would chalk that up to it being it was Back to Derry by Christine Previs. It was a wonderful game, and I loved being in it, and I got to be Mike Hanlon naturally. Nobody else in the group, that wouldn't have made sense for anybody else in the group, naturally fell to me for obvious reasons. But I thought initially that it was gonna be like 2 sessions. So when we hit 16, no, 14, sorry, 14, I sort of 14 episodes released of that, so that's fun. But we literally all thought it was gonna be like 3, and wow, we were off there, by a lot. But it was really fun. But like, because I had thought like, yeah, it's gonna be a shorter thing, I figured I didn't really need to get them. But I kind of regret that, and I think I just retroactively do that, like now, just commemorative of that experience, even if
Yes.
they weren't used during the thing.
Absolutely do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just had someone in chat say, I've never bought dice for a PC. I buy dice because they look awesome. Totally a
Yeah,
That
valid
checks
reason.
out.
That's fine. Buy stuff for the aesthetic. It's fine.
There was a trend on art Twitter a while back where people would take pictures of dice and create a character around the aesthetic of the dice.
Ooh.
And I've been wanting to do that for a while. Not
That's
like building a D&D character, but just like character design challenge type stuff.
I love that.
I
That's
still
a-
have my original Werewolf the Apocalypse dice set somewhere, and actually it's mixed in with my greater sort of dice collection. But yeah, I still have that, and whenever I play Werewolf the Apocalypse, I break those dice out. Like, all right, time to come home, boys.
Good times.
All right. Well, we got a question from Jim the Dim, and Jim would like to know, what would your favorite character's video game of choice be?
Persephone would 100% enjoy games like Animal Crossing, Slime Rancher, Harvest Moon. Basically, I can make friends with these things and hang out with them kind of games. Cozy games.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw, that is very fun.
My current rogue gunslinger, Simon McKenna, who doesn't want to be an adventurer, just wants to like go home, would play Fallout 4, but just do the settlement stuff. Like just build little communities and be like, okay, they're safe and happy. I'm good.
Think there was a character that I sort of it wound up basically being the same character just over a bunch of different campaigns, because that character was amazing, and I loved him. He was very, very good. Yeah, I think he would like Assassin's Creed, probably Assassin's Creed Origins. That just feels like a thing he would be good at. Oh man. Oh yeah, that would be really fun. Yeah. I also enjoyed that game, but I didn't know I enjoyed that game till this year, and I sort of retired that character a couple of years ago. But I think he would really like that.
I would like. Disc.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, fine. My character on Wednesday, Mark Tubb the Collector, would play this phone game that I've been playing for a very long time called Merchant RPG, where you are a merchant and you send people out to collect things. And
Oh my god!
it's exactly his personality.
It sounds just like it, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
My Solar Exalted General would probably be an RTS nerd, just because it's just like, what, managing troops? I'm really good at that. Let's come up with all these bizarre strategies and see if they work. I'm just gonna send one tank out, and then when the monsters come to kill it, I'm gonna send 100 tanks behind him and see what happens. It's like, why are you like this? So yeah, he would definitely be an RTS nerd.
I'm trying to think. I think Well, if I was talking about Eevee, Eevee would probably be in the same boat as Persephone, like Stardew Valley, like, you know, anything along those lines. But my character Edabrix, she was kind of an interesting one. She would also probably fall like in the Assassin's Creed camp. She was a weird mix of characters. She was a rogue ranger fighter. So, yeah.
I don't know why, but I feel like Edabrix would love Banjo-Kazooie.
Well, that's the thing too, is like she'd also probably like secretly love a game like that, but like it would be the thing that like she wouldn't let anybody knew that she played.
I don't know why that makes so much sense to me, but I just am like, yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we had an Ask My Question Next come in. So for those of you who don't know what that means that somebody has spent channel points and they have bumped their question up to the top of the queue. So Vertrox Nightblood would like to know, what is a system that you want to play or run but have not been able to play or run yet?
So many.
My answer is yes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm going to go with that one.
I am a total nerd for running as many systems as I can. I love trying new systems, and I go through them pretty quickly. I'm going to say one that's not out yet that I'm really excited to try, because that's a reason that I haven't played it yet, other than my list is too long. I am really, really excited for Avatar Legend.
I've heard a lot of people are super pumped for that one.
Oh, that sounds really fun. Oh, it looks so fun.
Some of my favorite designers are on that project, and like it's a list of people who are behind this book that I'm not questioning that I will like it. I'm just gonna like it. Similarly, while I have the PDF, I can't wait to get my physical book of Flames of Freedom from the Zweihander system and try that one out.
Nice.
I really want to run a one-shot game called Slasher Flick, where you're playing a horror movie, and like you're knowing, so it's like it's funny, but like there's genre points. So like if you do something like go off on your own, or say like this can't end poorly, or something like that, you get like genre points, and like you can spend those on things. It looks so good.
Okay, I'm going to change my answer. I want that.
Remind me,
Yeah.
this is not me answering, this is me asking Mel to please remind me to let you know about a game that my friend made called The Old Ways. I think you would like it a lot. It is folk horror. So you are literally like a group of people who have wandered into a town, and for whatever reason, and you can randomly generate why you're in the town, and then stuff starts to happen.
Perfection.
Yeah, it is. Remind me to, and I'll give you the information on that later. But yeah, my sister freaking loves it.
So somebody in chat just said, "Oh, cool! Share that with the class. I want to try that."
Oh, what?
Yes.
Oh, what? The Old Ways.
Yep.
All right, cool. My friend Mother Multiverse makes that. You could just look her up on itch. I think the game's like $10 or some nonsense. It might be a little more. So I don't go on itch that often. So yeah. So it's super duper cheap, but you know, I would read through it. It is really fun and really creepy, and expect like this is a one-shot engine. I'm telling you that right up front. There are a lot of scenarios where no character will survive, so be okay with that.
Someone in the chat mentioned
Yeah.
Necrobiotic, which I'd say I'm really excited. I have gotten to play that one time. I Weave the Tale did a stream of it, and I got to play it a little bit. It's worth being excited about. It's really fun.
My answer as of right now, like officially answering, is Age of Sigmar, because apparently I'm a Wokehammer bro, which I'm all about that. Like, you know what? Challenging a bunch of the weird social stuff that was creeping around Warhammer and actually making it open for everybody. Yeah, I'm all about this life. Who knew?
I'm trying to think of one that I haven't played that I really want to. And like honestly, like most people will be like, "Hey, you want to try this new game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down. Like I'll try just about anything once game-wise." And I know, Casey, I know you played it, but I just got an invite that I unfortunately had to turn down for right now, but an invite to play a Witcher game. And that's definitely on my list of things that I'd like to try, just because I'm a fan of The Witcher, like the franchise in general, not just the games, but the whole franchise.
I need more.
What's that?
I need more of that game. It was so. We had to cut it a little shorter than I wanted, but it was super fun.
Yeah. And then I've played it. I've done one-shots a few times, but I would recommend, and I didn't know he's in chat, I would recommend Aether and Steamworks to just about anybody by Ty Burris. He's RF Chaos in chat, so that's a ton of fun. Like, you're welcome. It's just a really great system that is like steampunky and magic, and you know, it's like it's kind of a nice mix for me personally. It's a nice mix of like high fantasy and not at the same time. So I think it kind of scratches that, both sides of that for me. But yeah, I will. Most people will be like, "Hey, you want to try a one shot of whatever the game is?" Yeah, I'm down. I'll give it a try. So yeah. All right, let's see. Next question that we have is from Dag Baitway. If you use a VTT, a virtual tabletop, do you guys change the colors of your dice in the various DTTs when you start rolling badly?
Nah.
Yes.
Yes.
You gotta grab a new set of dice.
Yeah.
I don't even
Well, so
know.
like so we roll the dice on the virtual tabletop, so in order to change them is a lot more work than just grabbing a new set of dice. That's mostly why I'm a no.
I guess I'd have to say no too, for like the same reason. Like I guess the limited times that I have used them at all, I guess I've been honestly just more fine with the rolls, so I haven't. I don't know, just been fine with the way I've been rolling. It's okay. But I don't know that I have enough experience with it to be able to say that, that I would or wouldn't, but I don't think I would. Maybe. Who knows?
I can say I don't mess with the colors of my virtual dice because I avoid using virtual dice at all costs. I don't know. I'm really just have a thing about that where I don't like the virtual dice because I don't have a good reason. I just don't. I like dice.
I feel the same way. I like to have physical dice, but I also like that the VTT does the math for me, because I am not a quick math person in my head. I can't just like bang out the number really fast. So I do appreciate that, and I swear using a VTT for the last 2 years has made that even worse for me. So
yet another Kickstarter that I was very excited about and missed, and I'm waiting for them to open it up for late pledges, which they are planning to apparently. Was like a little LED dice that lights up and stuff. But what's more important is that it has a Bluetooth chip in it, and it connects to Roll20 and World Foundry. And
I remember.
You remember that?
Oh.
And it's best of both. It's like a $40 D20, but
Yeah.
Whoa.
best of both worlds.
Yeah.
They saw the demand and they offered the supply.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There it
For
is.
On Foundry Virtual, so I play on 2 different virtual tabletops. Our Thursday game is on Roll20, and our Sunday game is on Foundry Virtual Tabletop. Roll20 doesn't have like the virtual dice; it just rolls the numbers and generates it. But on Foundry, you can customize not just your dice and how they look, but how they sound when you roll them.
Oh, that's
So you
Yep.
so they can sound like the dice itself could be made of different materials, and then you can even change the sound of the table they roll on. Yeah.
That's
And
incredible.
you can have different effects for when you get a nat 20, and it's great. And
My mind is
for
blown.
streamers too, if you stream and use Foundry, the dice rolls are public. If it's a public dice roll, it's public, so you can see the dice rolling across the screen, and it still does all of the math for you.
That's cool.
Oh, that makes
yeah.
me happy.
Iconic.
It's so good. Gives me all the dopamine.
I can tell. And I love it. That makes me so happy.
Right?
Oh my god. Oh, here I go, just learning new things on a stream. I love it.
So good.
That's one of the better
love it.
features D&D Beyond added, where like my players we all like put our books on the same account so that we can just share them in the campaign or whatever, and everyone has access to those resources. But they've started doing where if you have that like gold, like you're paying the $5 a month, you get a free set of virtual dice every month, or I guess it's not free, it's included. But Dice Plus makes me happy.
Iconic and good.
I love it. Yeah, I've been playing on Fantasy Grounds, not Unity, the original Fantasy Grounds, for the last 2 years, and it's easy to change the color of your dice, but like I can see my dice roll, other players can see my dice roll, but I don't think chat can if it's streamed. Maybe it can. I'm not totally positive on that, but I know they can see the answer, but
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
yeah.
I mean, it sounds freaking dope.
I like it. It's there's a lot to it, but it's pretty it's a really comprehensive one.
Yeah, I as I'm looking at Roll20 desperately, like, there's a way to change the dice? How? What? Math? Ah! And no, I don't know how to do any of that.
I feel like I've messed with that a while back. I'll remind myself, and I can send you a link or something later, or a screenshot.
Alright, cool. I'm just like, mess with the dice, no.
We had to turn our dice rolling off because of a variety of most people, like, you know, our computers are all different. Everybody playing at the table, and the Roll20 dice rolling was not friendly for some of our potato PCs.
My players recently learned for Roll20, they're all chronic doodlers anyways, and learned that they have access to a pencil tool on
my
Roll20.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
I was
got
looking
we have a lot of doodles. If you leave it on the splash screen, the DM will return to probably some cursed stuff on the splash screen because it's there.
Love that so very, very much.
My players just leave stickmen going through very story appropriate, if not harrowing, dragon fights.
Do they doodle like their unseen servant or their mage hands in the middle of the game?
Or just like the BBEG for that point. Like, as a stickman, it just says, like, this lich can suck butts or something like that.
Oh, very good.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. Next question we have is from Nekala the Druid. And Nekala would like to know, what is your favorite setting to play or GM in, such as high fantasy, Old West, sci-fi, etc.?
That's a hard question.
I didn't say it was easy.
Easy. Science fantasy.
Thank you. I was literally going to say sci-fi, but then I realized no, that is actually more correct to what I meant. I don't know that I want fully a whole lot of science. but I want it in like in whatever it is. It's in modern day. There's gonna be magic involved. Just what it doesn't really matter if the it doesn't really matter what the thing is. There will simply be magic. It's a great story mechanic that I like to use a lot. Um, and I like a world where that is possible but not overused. It's always a fun one.
I can really get behind science fantasy. Kind of like you said, it brings the best of both worlds. And I've done a lot of science fantasy gaming. One that I really want to try that I haven't gotten to experiment with a lot is like that Weird West, like Deadlands type of thing. And I want to try more of that because it seems really cool, and I have so many good ideas for stories. I think, and then Cyberpunk also is a big draw for me. I love Cyberpunk type stories.
Yeah, I want to play more Cyberpunk, but I'm also in the of the stance of yes, I want modern day, but with magic.
Yes. There was a campaign that we wrapped up the first season of this stream. Hopefully, we'll be back relatively soon. But I think it was kind of futuristic, but like it was futuristic, but the technology sort of like got weirdly integrated with plants, specifically in the 90s. I don't know how to describe that. That and but that. So like yes, we have weird hovercraft things, but also like they're powered by plant life instead of like anything else. It was really fun, and I'm realizing that trying to explain it out of context of the story is like borderline impossible.
I can't find the word for it, but it reminds me of this one arc from the Netflix reboot of Age of Ultron, because they went to a city that was like that, where they had like tree plant magitech stuff. That was their civilization, and that was so cool.
One property that really hits like the perfect balance of science and fantasy to me, Studio Ghibli does a really good job with it on several occasions, as does realizing there's been some drama with the creator. I thought Swords Fall hit like a really sweet spot of science and fantasy.
Honestly, I like to use what I call hope punk.
Yes.
I'm a huge hope punk guy. Like, you know, the world we live in is, you know, pretty terrible. So having a game where you are the like hope and light for the world sounds dope to me. And so that giving the players agency to be like, well, time to go be hope and light all over these guys' faces. It's like, all right, here we go.
I love that. What a good vibe.
I'm familiar with that term hope punk, but I like it.
I want to play in a game. So my group usually disregards some of the more nitty-gritty type of rule sets, like being really, really strict with our inventory counting and our ammo counting and like the food and water. So we usually hand wave all that stuff because we tried to actually track it once and it just slowed things down. But I want to play a game, a one-shot, whatever, a setting where you have that is a core part of it. Maintaining your resource, like a survival kind of game.
So you
That's
want
what I want.
dysentery is what you're saying. You want your character to try to ford a river and drown.
I want fantasy 7 days to die.
Oh, Lord.
Ooh.
Meets the forest.
Does Star Trek count as science fantasy?
Star Trek is science fiction. Star Wars is science fantasy.
Well,
That's
Oh,
it.
my
There it is.
God.
Right there.
when technology gets to a certain point, when you like start getting to like the Q who can just do anything with their minds, or like, does that reach a fantasy point?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Depends on how you do it, but yes.
if you don't, if I wanna thread this particular needle. The sort of binary between the Star Wars, Star Trek, what is fantasy, what is not, is occasionally super goddamn gatekeepy, because what people will say is like, oh, well, this doesn't count as science fiction because they use the Force and blah, blah, blah. But And then people will say, well, this is fantasy because they have teleporters and all this other stuff that doesn't actually exist in modern science. Well, that's kind of where I'm at. Is there is no difference. They both belong in the same category. Dorks from 40 years ago decided to make this into a weird culture war, and it needs to just no. No.
I didn't think about that. That's
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Like dorks who saw, the original who saw the original Star Wars were like, well, this is science fiction, and then some other dorks who were like, old school Trekkies were like, well, no, it's not, and it's like, no, stop right now, we're not doing it. So
I love both of them.
No,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, they're both super fun. They both have like fantastic elements that one could definitely be like, okay, this is not based in science at all. Though the one reason that Star Wars gets dragged into the fantasy is because like they use words like knights and stuff like that for like mythic illusion, so that you understand what the hell you're coming in with. So when you see the 6 tentacled alien wobbling by, you're not like, what the hell is even that? You have something, you have a frame of reference. Whereas so people being themselves glommed onto that really hard, and we're like, oh well, then it's fantasy, and it's like, no. They're in space shooting lasers.
Yeah. It has the like titles and elements of high fantasy, but blends it with futuristic things,
Exactly.
and things that may or may not ever actually exist, but maybe they could. Who knows? Maybe at some point we'll be flying through space on a thing that looks anything like anything in any of those movies, but who knows? Maybe that won't happen. But I always find when I'm writing that when I'm writing and I'm trying to answer that specific question of like, is the thing that I'm going to write to have fantasy elements, or is it like, and are those going to be the thing that it has more of, or am I or well, actually more accurately is, am I going to let this just be magic and not explain this? Or am I going to over-focus on this and explain this to a point where it no longer becomes magical because we understand how this thing happened at a core level? And the answer is stick with magic wherever possible, because oh my god, it's too stressful. I can't. I don't have time.
The less you write, the more the readers are going to fill in, and then you can be like, yes, that is exactly, yes, and you just write it down for your next piece.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
exactly.
like, this becomes somewhat of an axe to grind, because a lot of people will say, well, there was this, there's all this magic in Star Wars and there's not as much magic in Star Trek and blah blah blah, and nothing is explained in Star Wars, so it's fantasy elements. And I'm like, hey y'all, I need y'all to go back and read some Arthur C. Clarke. Hey y'all, I need y'all to go back and read some real old school grindy, like what they were calling science fiction. It was all like that. Nothing was explained. How did John Carter get to Mars? Who the hell knows? He just teleported himself there through the power of being an old guy. I don't know. He just showed up. So like, that's why when people are like, oh, well, this one is this and this is this, I'm like, nope, they were all like that. This is all the primordial soup of nerd, and trying to parse it out is trash. Just don't do it. If you love it, hug it. It's great. Don't.
Exactly. What it is at the end of the day is fiction.
Yeah.
That the thing that is the unifying point under which all of those things follow. Mm-hmm.
I get real bent out of shape because people tend to try to use like, oh, that's only science fantasy, as sort of a way to like downplay certain science fiction stuff, and I'm like, no, that's not how that works. Get out of here.
That's I would have never thought about it in that like context, just because like as like spending so much time like as an English teacher and like in that type of world, like kind of looking at tropes and like codifying genres becomes a thing like your brain just kind of does, I think. And I would have never thought about it in that context. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is. So I don't want to knock the entire show off course because I know we got questions to probably answer and such. But this is actually one of my huge pet peeves regarding the RPG space. Guess what? Play it. If you like it, play it. I don't care. Like, oh, but I'm specifically like, if you say like, hey, I'm specifically in a mood for like a game that looks at like spaceships and lasers and blah, cool. You know, here's like 3 or 4 that I could recommend that do that. You know, but if you're like, oh, I want to play something that's more like medieval style, cool, I can do that too. My answer for both is Star Wars in some cases. But that's not, yes, it is. But that's not, yes, it is. It explores every theme you're looking at. What else do you want that removes Star Wars from the running?
I need that as a shirt. If you like it, play it. I love that.
That should
a great shirt.
That because yeah, like that really should be everybody's like thing. Because guess what? Like we all pour out here. Ain't nobody making $1 million. Play whatever you get your hands on. Have fun.
Exactly. Have fun with it. That is the point. I for a good chunk of time, I personally was like, see, I don't actively dislike any of them, as I have seen literally every movie. I've seen every Star Wars movie because I have made myself try very, very hard to enjoy the entirety of the franchise. I've genuinely worked at it and told myself I was completely incorrect and that I would enjoy these eventually. And it's not, I have no issue with the storytelling or anything. I think there is just a part of it that like bugged my brain, and I realized it was sort of I have a hard time with space fiction that has any type of rules, with the noted exception of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because rules, what are they? It doesn't matter. It's fine. Also, I'm not going to explain anything to you. Just proceed forward with this one movie. That's I don't know. It has its place. I just personally, I don't know. I have a difficult time parsing out exactly which type of fiction I enjoy. But
I would play a Hitchhiker's Guide TTRPG in a moment. I kind of did. I did a charity one-shot last year titled, it was like something like Meeting at Benjamin's, and like we were all playing in like an outer space bowling alley.
I was in that one too. Well, not with you, but I was in that on a different day, yeah.
And my team was the Hitchhikers. And we were playing like people that came in the towels. That was so good.
Yes, that was a really, really great event. I played with David and Andy Tilstra, and we were siblings. We were pizza people, but not like pizza delivery people. We were like Pizza the Hut people, and we were like a mafia family. So
they gave me a poo.
So David was like about to take over like becoming the patriarch of the mafia family, and Andy was like, you know, baby Ninepins, who was the younger brother, and I was like the complete ditzy sister whose name was Charity, because it was a charity stream, so Charity had to be there. And it was I think my favorite part was when she goes to take her turn, like misses wildly, but just turns around and puts on marinara lipstick.
Work. Well done.
Oh my god. Out here serving looks while completely missing shots. Oh yeah.
It was, but that whole event, like just the whole weekend, all the games were so good.
Serving looks missing shots is honestly every character I've ever made. Just every single one. Just they're fabulous. They're perfect.
Yeah.
Do they have their stuff together? No, not a single one of them. It might look like they do from afar, No. Never once. That's the part of me that I inject into each and every character that I play. Oh, silliness.
Oh my goodness, I love it. All right, well, let's see. The next question that we have comes from, I lost my chat. There it is. Comes from Zealzaddy. What major, and the word major is in capital letters, so you know it's important, upgrade or change to the next iteration of D&D or your favorite other TTRPG would make you the happiest?
Oh Jesus, that's a oof.
It's such a loaded question, but
For D&D, I think for me, this is the thing that made me give Pathfinder 2nd edition a chance at trying. We need more for skills. We need so Pathfinder 2nd edition has like a tier system of expertise for skills, and they also outline actual things you can do with said skills. So I think the major thing D&D needs to do in their next iteration is they need to stop leaving it up to the DM. Give them a list of ideas. Give them examples. But stop this vague, let the DM figure it out. No. Write down some things that can be done and let the DM use it as a jumping off point. Let the players use it as a jumping off point. Animal handling? I don't know what I'm going to use animal handling for. Give me a list of what would apply.
Honestly, yeah, I'm just gonna agree, mainly because I don't know that I have an actual idea, but also because that genuinely, yes, that I think that would have made every single experience that I have ever had with D&D, which I suppose realistically isn't actually that many, but whatever. It would have made all those experiences much better if I had a specific type of if I knew what applied where, it would also help me make a character better.
How you could use certain skills to make money. Like the Pathfinder 2nd edition rulebook is all about, oh hey, you can use this skill set to make money over downtime doing these tasks. And depending on your level, I don't need them to give us the tiers of proficiency as Pathfinder, but just the list of things that can be done, how you can affect society, things that you can do as a character and benefits you can get from it. I think that would go a really long way of making skills more than just just roll this. It's less of a contest and more of an interactive part of the game.
Yeah,
I have two, and they come from that I think D&D could learn a lot from Kids on Bikes in two particular ways. The first is that D&D doesn't have a way of ensuring that the players fail forward. And I think in a lot of ways D&D suffers from the Gygaxian way of playing of D&D is about... Liam O'Brien once said on Critical Role jokingly that D&D is about punishment. And I think he's right, but that it's not good.
I had never heard that before, and honestly, wow. That just...
Yeah. But Kids on Bikes is adversity tokens, saying that when you fail a roll, you get a token, which gives you a +1 to a future roll. I think I don't know if it's exactly that the D&D needs, but something similar to fail for, some process of failing forward, as well as a more clear and defined Session 0 layout in the main book that encourages players directly, not hinting at it, not designers tweeting about it, but in the book saying that Session 0 is the time where you need to talk about what players are comfortable with and setting up your lines and veils and other safety tools to have a good time and encouraging everyone to take part in world building.
Yes, agreed.
I feel that in my soul, and the volcano of things I want to say, I am keeping that on lock.
Oof.
Luna, I love you because I'm keeping that on lock. You have no idea how much I want to say. Whoo, boy. Let me just say, Casey, you are right. You are so right. And all right, I'm going to keep it in. I'm going to keep it locked in.
You're getting a little spicy there, Shan.
Oh my God, I'm feeling that spice. Because, nah. No, I'm not even going to go down that road. We're good.
Food and
I am
ice.
gonna say one spicy thing that my Starfinder fans might get mad at me for.
Spicy, I'm ready.
They need to go ahead and make Starfinder system into the Pathfinder 2e system already.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. Oh,
Mhm.
at least just the 3-action economy. Like that's what I was gonna say. Like
Just-
for Starfinder, at the very least. Like
They're gonna. I got some freelancer friends who will probably like throw a brick at my face for even mentioning that, but nah, like the 3-action system, the 3-action economy makes so many things so much way better,
yes.
but it also makes things like Starship Combat feel like they make a lot more sense to me because I can shoot with one action and I can pilot the ship with my second action. Rather than it being like, well, the ship sort of pilots itself if you don't do anything, like you take a 10 on it, and I'm like, no. I want to be able to control all of it.
They just need to revamp entirely the Starship Combat.
Real talk, I like it, but I really like the Starship Combat. I just think that if it had the 3-action economy already baked in, like from the jump,
Oh yeah.
it would feel smoother. It would just like you get in your ship, you fly your ship, you shoot with your ship. Cool. And that's all like one action set. And that feels really, really good. So.
I haven't played Starfinder, but it's one I've really been wanting to play. Do they do a good job? I know a lot of games that involve like vessel to vessel combat, whether it's seafaring ships or spaceships, like put a lot on whichever PC is taking the role of the captain, and a lot of times a lot of players kind of have to sit and watch. Does Starfinder do anything to make sure that everyone's like included in like?
Yes. There's a bunch of different roles, like the captain role, pilot role, gunner role. There's a couple others, and each of them have like specific phases they can act in. Either adding bonuses to other people with their actions, or like doing other things like piloting the ship, for instance, or shooting your gun. But yeah, everybody has at least something they can do on their turn.
Up to and including Magic Officer. Like,
Nice.
Can you imagine being the fucking Magic Officer on Star Trek? Like, you're the one who looks out for Q and the wormhole aliens and all that stuff. You just keep that stuff on lockdown. We don't want to deal with any of that.
That would be the most stressed person ever.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be really interesting for like an RPG.
Yeah. I took 3 years at Starfleet Academy of talking to Q.
Yeah. Also preventing like time travel nonsense or falling into the mirror universe or any of that other nonsense that's just like what.
Hi, I'm the shenanigans officer.
Exactly. I am here to prevent shenanigans.
Oh.
All right. Well, we are about at the point where we're going to take a quick break. So we're going to pause here. Lord Richter, I saw your question come in. We will answer yours as soon as we come back from break. And we'll be back in like 10-ish minutes. So sit tight and we'll see you in just a little bit.
and like sit and eat post event. It's great.
I love it.
That was
Oh no, I
awesome.
moved slightly. I'm all left center now. No.
No.
I can fix it, but I wanted to bring it back while we were talking about this because I was like, this is too good for chat not to hear.
Yeah.
We were shut up.
How many how many old school vampire LARPers do we have in the chat, yo? Give it up for Denny's or whatever your local equivalent is.
Or your 24-hour
God.
or your 24-hour equivalent.
I
Yes,
was
we
24
are
hour
back from
McDonald's
our
for
break,
us,
as
but-
you can see. And we're going to dive right back in with questions. We had one that came in right before the break, so that's where we're going to start. This one came in from Lord Richter, who would like to know, who are your favorite one or two characters modeled after? For example, I played a pirate modeled after Captain Kirk, or a fighter after, I'm going to mispronounce this because I'm not familiar with the character, Herger the Joyous from 13th Warrior.
My most recent character is a combination of the musical version of Alexander Hamilton, not so much the real person, but the one from Lin-Manuel Miranda's brain, and the main character whose name is slipping my mind in the very moment from the Count of Monte Cristo. Alexander Dumas' main character. I can't think of Dantes, is that his name? Something like that.
Something like that.
And then my last character was just David Bowie.
Nice.
like just David Bowie. That's it. It's like, what's the character's name? David. Last name Bowie. Like,
His name was Calico Jack, and he was a Feywild, or he was a Fey Druid or a Fey Bard with levels in Fey Pact Warlock. And the idea was, I'm a big Shakespeare nerd, and he was the changeling child that was adopted by Titania in Midsummer Night's Dream.
I apologize. I apologize for the screaming. That was my that has been my favorite piece of that. It was my first Shakespeare play on I never have acted in it. I have come close multiple times, and every time I get sick right before air.
Oh no!
My first Shakespearean role was Lysander in Midsummer Night's Dream, and I love that. Our Oberon quit the play 3 nights before opening night,
Oh no!
and Puck played him as a sock puppet.
Iconic. What? Icon.
That's
complete and total icon. That is perfect. That is wonderful. There's also a fun biting commentary in there about something or other. Anyway, I love that. That is great. Oh my god. I think the last character it was a hybrid of two two superheroes that weirdly seem, when I say their names, seem like they should have something in common with each other but don't. Black Canary and Raven. They should have something in common, being birds and whatnot. No, it's fine. But I like birds in general. I have a bird tattoo on this arm. It is not visible. It is right here, though. Anyway, but that was the last one that I did, and that was the inspiration for those two. But the others, sort of generic awkward teen, was the other one. But I don't quite have an exact character. But it's one we are all familiar with, but I don't I can't think right now of that exact character. It actually I take that back because that one was still Raven technically. But Teen Titans Raven in the show, I guess. Largely that. Yeah. What a good time. I love those characters. Very, very fun.
My character Rupert is based very heavily off of Adam Jensen. He is a mage in Mage the Ascension, who is basically a sharpshooter. Like, well, not sharpshooter in terms of guns, but like he is a if you take all of the cybernetic stuff and you leave some of it because he was technocracy, but you turn all of the like knowledge about like cyberware and stuff to finances because he was syndicate. And so he's this brilliant, like Adam Jensen-esque black guy who's just like a super duper badass in the weirdest ways because he could like foretell the future a little bit and like get so he would know like how how stocks would go and then use that money to buy himself more basically cyberware, which the equivalent in Mage the Ascension. So yeah, it was kind of goofy. My latest character, Felon. I was like, I want to make a FF14 Dragoon in D&D. And the D&D system cried. It almost buckled under me trying to make this thing. But I got it about to where I needed to be. You can't jump very high in D&D at all, and there's no feats to make you jump that much higher. So being able to do like Dragoon Leap is not really a thing. But I made it a thing because leaping off of tall buildings in Eberron is really, really fun. And then having like a token of Featherfall so I don't take a million fall damage is like, ha ha!
Rewind to the what does the next D&D edition need, and add a jumping feat.
God. Oh, wait, did I answer that question? Oh, yes, I did. Okay, now we're good.
I haven't made like a PC based off of any character that wasn't for a one shot. So like I'll usually make my PC based on the game they're going to go into. So in terms of one shots, I did a character kind of based on Harley Quinn, not in terms of like mechanically, just in terms of voice and aesthetic. And, you know, just her overall goofy but still pretty kick-ass self. But if I were to think about it, Persephone has a lot of influence from Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony and Steven from Steven Universe. That is a lot. So that's like those two bits of her are the most overt. And then you've got a little bit of Rapunzel from Tangled weaved in and a little bit of Anna from Frozen weaved in. And that is her.
What a fun time.
Steven comes with a lot of characters. I think it's just I admire a lot of the Steven Universe traits a lot, so that comes into a lot of like trying to figure out like I'm one that's like everyone roll initiative. I'm like, can we talk this out though?
I was that player. I was that, hey, so we have this problem with these centaurs. They're kind of terrorizing people. And they're like, all right, let's go kill the centaurs because this noble's going to pay us a bunch of money. And then Persephone's like, okay, but they speak Sylvan and I'm the only one that speaks Sylvan. I think we can talk to them.
I love that. That makes me so happy. That fills me with delight and joy in my spirit.
And we didn't have to fight the centaurs.
Yay!
I think might be one of the reasons that well, one sec. I will say it, it's fine. Sorry, Dane. Anyway, but the things that like made me not want to play D&D as much with the group with my group of friends whom I love very dearly, was we will resolve this by fighting, more than like problem solving, which is why I like, and also we wouldn't discuss it like beforehand. One of the things that I like about any of the ones that I've played that have been released to the general public and are like listenable and downloadable is that we've had like long conversations about what we were going to do and why we wanted to do it, and had like goals set beforehand, and like we not even that we necessarily knew it was coming, but we also knew like whatever comes up, we have this goal in mind. We have like this point that we want to hit. So we're gonna go toward that. So if this thing pops up over here, and it is a fun, tantalizing opportunity, but also is a full distraction from everything we were supposed to actually be doing, and could not possibly at all be related to whatever is actually going on, we may just move past it, or that section might still happen. Just slice it out the episode, and it doesn't ever actually exist or see the light of day. Anyway, but it's still a fun time. But like, it was the fighting mainly that got me. Like, I loved it because I love a good battle. I do. But sometimes creative problem solving is fun.
D&D carries over. I didn't start playing D&D until I was out of college due to like social pressures of high school, I guess. But it's something from my like video game RPG days of like I can't be mean to my Mass Effect characters has transferred over to D&D for me, where I can't be mean to the NPCs.
Oh god, you know what? I think that did it for me. That might be it.
If I
get it.
Aquila in Star Wars, then things don't work out.
Yeah, I usually am that way, but I recently just made a character who can call lightning down from the heavens and vaporize any building with the lightning. So I've decided he's going to be a little mean because I've never been mean.
I'm trying to play a character that's like the ends justify the means type of guy, and it's hard. I don't.
You have to literally, you have to just turn your feelings. You got to turn those off.
Yeah.
You don't need them for this session. That is the only, because I have moments like that with Nyx. Nyx and Persephone are kind of like opposite in how they handle things. Nyx is very much like, she knows how the world works, and she knows that sometimes you got to do things that aren't really great for like the greater good. Like we had a session early on where we saved a bunch of these attendants in a church or a temple of the Oracle from these guards or the followers of this Titan, this tyrannical Titan. We had one alive. He was asleep. We got him to sleep because magic, and we tied him up. But we had to leave the vicinity because we heard the Oracle was in danger just down the hall. And Nyx was like, I'm not leaving him here to wake up and potentially escape and continue to harm the hostages. So she took her dagger and she gave him a swift death.
Yeah. Practical.
Thug life over here. What is going on?
I mean, it just makes sense. It just adds up if you really if it really comes down.
Yeah,
to
I
it.
mean, like most of the party wasn't there to see it, but the only other PC that was has a similar mindset of like, yeah, that would have been very inconvenient. I wouldn't have wanted to deal with that. Yeah, it makes sense. I didn't care for that. It worked.
I play. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I play Felon as a big, lovable himbo, and he is actually pretty smart. He is, for all my Eberron homies in the audience, or homettes, or whatever you want to call yourselves. He is House de Deneth in Eberron, and he is a big, lovable himbo. He's just like, I'm going to be friends with as many people as I can. You know, he is currently courting someone from a different house, which if you're an Eberron fan, you know that's a big no-no. But he's like, yeah, I don't care. She's nice to me and is my healer. So, you know, you got to love your healer. And so he's just like a big squishy lug up into the minute combat starts. And then everything goes away. It's just like, you were going to hurt my friends. Okay. And then everything turns into a blender. And then he comes back out of that, you know, caked in blood. And he's just like, hugs for everyone. And everybody's like, what did you do? And he's just like, what? I handled the problem. There was a problem. I took care of it for us.
Every party needs a good himbo character.
Yeah.
Correct. That is simply correct.
All right. Let's see. The next question that we got came in from Big Bees, and that question is, what is the worst multi-class?
One of every.
One of
Yes,
everything.
I'm gonna. You know what? That's the one.
You know who does that? People who want to derail.
It's fun.
I haven't
It is
multi-class, so I just don't have an opinion on what would be the worst multi-class. But one of the players at in both of my games, he multi-class is just crazy whatever combinations, because he knows what he wants specifically. So I think his current multi-class in our Thursday game is monk, rogue, cleric with the level and fighter, and I think ranger, but it works. It somehow works. I don't know.
If you can make it work and do it with purpose, then it doesn't necessarily matter. It is when, again, back to the one of everything. It is when you have made no choices at all. That is when we have a problem. You have made no choices. You have made no choices whatsoever. And or rather, I guess you've made technically every choice, which is in effect making no choices. Unless you want to think then about the order in which all those things happened. At which point then, yes. There was a YouTube video I saw where someone had done that.
Absurd.
Thank you. That's the one. I just came across that video like a couple weeks ago, and I just
when you watch a video and it almost gives you a goddamn stroke. Yeah. Yeah.
We all know the worst multi-class though is a level 20 bard.
So can I be a little spicy on the timeline here?
Sure.
Please. Spicy, okay.
I hate the entire multi-class system as presented in D&D 5e. All of it.
Ooh.
It is awful. And the reason why it's awful is because it will net you certain benefits of like this class or this class or this class or this class. But ultimately, you will never reach your maximum potential in any of those classes, including your main class.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna do a plug because I'm a fanboy. So everybody who's mad at me about my spicy take can call me a fanboy. That's fine. In Pathfinder 2e, you will always reach your maximum potential in the class you choose. That being said, the archetyping system is like, okay, you might not get all of your class feats, but you are trading those feats out to dip into other classes. So like, if let's say I want to be a fighter that's also a wizard, there is like they call it a multi-class feat, but you basically take it as a feat. So by the time I'm a 20th level fighter, I will have most of the stuff, like 99% of the stuff that I would get as a fighter, but then I'll also have as much stuff as I want from being a wizard and not feel cheated.
Yes.
That is very important. Is like, okay, well, I'm a level 3 sorcerer, but I'm a level 17 fighter. It's like, okay, well, you can cast like 3 spells a day.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why are you doing this?
And they're like level 1 spells, so it's like they don't even do anything at that level.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with that. I think the way 5th edition handles multi-class is part of why I haven't tried it yet, because I'll feel like I'm missing out on some of the cooler upper level stuff that I was looking forward to. Like Persephone's all druid. We just hit 14th level, but if I took a dip somewhere else, I wouldn't get my really cool teleportation circle feat that dream druids get at 14th level.
Precisely. Yes.
I particularly, and this is a recent thing that I realized because I'm GMing a game where a player really wanted to do a specific multi-class for story reasons and was like, "Oh, I'm 1 point shy on wisdom or intelligence or something," and I was like, "Fuck it, do it." Put the class on there. I don't care about the ASI minimums or whatever, the ability score minimums. Ability score minimums are dumb. Or sorry, I shouldn't use that. Uh, ability score minimums don't need to be done because I don't need the game to tell me what I want to do. And if it's suboptimal, I'm fine with that. Give me my wizard level, and I'll be bad at it by my choice.
Exactly.
I think at its core, that's what this is about, right? Like, when I think about why would you multi-class, this is the way I try to take everything. Why am I doing this? I have a million things to do in my real life. Why am I spending the time to multi-class? What does multi-class give me that just running through my standard class and getting all of the best benefits of that class give me within sort of the 5e realm, right?
Yeah.
And so at that point, I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, if I dip into wizard as a level, like say 10 fighter, what is that giving me? And it's like, well, not a hell of a lot. So why do it? Whereas like in say in Pathfinder 2, it gives me a nice little bonus, like something little that doesn't feel like a lot, but if I keep going with it, it gets more and more powerful, so I feel like a decent wizard, you know. And I'm a great fighter, like I'm an amazing fighter, but I'm a great wizard too, and that feels good.
I think it's similar. I recently started doing a Naruto D20 game in the D20 modern system, and I like that certain prestige and advanced classes have like maybe 5 to 7 levels in them, and it encourages you to kind of mix and match and make the character you want to make. And it's like, yeah, I can have Genjutsu Master, but I can also dip into a weapons specialist or something like that and make the character I want to make rather than feeling like I have to follow a 20 level path.
Yeah, like were it completely up to me, I would just be like, okay, what choices do you want to make for your character? No, I'm not saying, no, we're classless now. I'm not going to do that because that's cheating. Within a class-based system, what choices do you want to make? I want to be able to do this, I want to be able to do this, and I want to be able to do this. Cool. We can design something to do that. And we can give it a progression that's 20 levels, so you feel good from level 1 to level 20. And that to me is the essence of what multi-classing should be, and we just don't have that. Like for as much as I talk up Pathfinder 2E, even that requires you to be at least a few levels in before you start to sort of be able to pick from that other tree. So like we don't have anything that takes us from 1 to 20 as exactly what I want,
One fix might be a lot more feats that have class flavor to them.
I think so. In our Sunday game, we have a no multi-classing rule just to keep it's the DM's preference for everything else going on in the game because it's already a lot for him. And Nyx is a cleric and she's got this weird relationship with a Titan that's kind of bullying her. And after an in-story event, I was like, it would be cool if instead of a cleric, she had like warlocky stuff going on. So I took the Eldritch, the feat that lets me take an invocation, basically. And that works because I still get what I want out of cleric, and I get to have a little touch of warlock stuff as a treat.
Yep.
That makes sense. When I think about that makes me think of oh boy, what is the not me trying to remember what system it even was. Wow. I feel like it was probably Monster of the Week. The specific sort of thing in experience where once you've hit a certain number of experience things, you can select something from another location should you so desire. Or actually, I might be thinking of masks. I could be wrong. It doesn't particularly matter. There's a thing there where you can do exactly that, where like, okay, this one move and ability here from this other playbook, I would like that, please, thank you. And then you can just sort of have that one, and it's fine, and there is no problem with doing so. Um, I like that a lot. It's one of the things that I enjoy most about the sort of more long-term versions of those games that I've played. Um, like the being able to sort of, as the story progresses, have a narrative reason that I have made a certain change. Um, and with with Losers a Love Story, I had a few we had centered that whole story around well, obviously it chapter 2 because of course. But we each had like an individual theme going on, and then there was like a moment. I remember, at least for my character, there's a specific moment where the character made a sort of big decision. And the big decision was basically actually acting, like, and actually doing a thing and proactively making a choice. In this particular case, we didn't need to go to another plague book because I was using a pre-existing one that, like, yeah. But for narrative reasons, suddenly, Mikey's wielded an axe. Just throwing an axe around. Oh, what a moment. It was a good moment. But like there was a story reason to do it, even though this character wouldn't necessarily be able to, one, throw a punch, or two, or wield an axe in a way that would be effective. But we managed to narratively make it work. I feel like that is almost or at least for me, that's, I guess, one of the more important things is whatever I'm going to do, as long as I can as long as I have a reason, as long as there is a solid reason that I'm going to make whatever choice for this character, I'm going to make reasons that are not simply based on necessarily just stats or things like that, but like a reason, as if this were a person, a reason this person would make this decision. That's sort of, that's my approach to it.
All right.
Masks does it, you're right.
Okay, we have a couple more questions. We may not have time to get to all of them, but Call Me They would like to know, this started to come up a little bit ago, and so this was kind of a follow-up to that. What is the meanest character you've ever been?
My weather mage. Oh, he is great. So we were playing with a third party system, Spheres of Power, and there's a sphere for weather, and you can control the weather. And there's a prestige class for it, Tempestaria, which just like puts your damage up 10,000 times. So you deal double damage to objects, and you deal max damage every time. So he's consistently putting out 140 damage per round on objects. So he uses that to his advantage. He just explodes the ground to make a point. Really, like if he's trying to intimidate somebody, he'll just throw in another lightning and just like bam. And he's like, stand down. It just like blows up a building and like, it's great.
My meanest character, and this is gonna sound ridiculous, was in a Pokemon D&D game. because we decided to play the rival squad, and we were all like the rivals, and my character Reese Banyan was a jerk.
Nice.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Mine would have to be my tiefling brute fighter, Katie. She started the campaign with the party basically like on probation. It's like, oh, hey, we caught you committing a big crime. She was a smuggler for like a crime syndicate. And the campaign started with her being like, you have, your last length of your sentence, probation, serve some time. And that was with the party serving in the military, and she was angry. She was a fighter, but she when I played her and when I attacked with her, she might as well have been a barbarian.
Rupert is a sniper. Like Rupert is a technocrat enforcer.
Okay, but what does he mean?
Well, hold on, but let me explain. Before he decided to leave the technocracy because he's like, okay, they're playing me for a chump. He would they would call him in whenever there were whenever the reality deviants, which is what you call all of the other factions from Mage the Ascension that aren't the technocracy, would start coming out of pocket. He would just be like, give me a minute. And then a bunch of them would start falling down. And then people would be like, I try to heal. No, you don't. Blam again. I try to heal. Blam again. And then when people would be like talking to him afterward, like, oh, you did all of this really horrible stuff. Don't you feel like a bad person? He's like, no. Why would I? Like, y'all are breaking reality. I'm stopping you. But that is a really messed up way to be. Like, you shouldn't just be, assassinating people and kind of being cool with it. You should at least have some emotional, like, okay, something's wrong here. But no, he was totally like, no, they deserve it. They're breaking the rules of reality. They're going to let in all sorts of interdimensional horrors if they don't stop. So I'm going to make them stop.
Very justified in there. Very justified in the brutal of the choices. And I kind of get it. That's what I tend to play more often than not, is the one that's like, okay, I'm generally really sweet and very kind, but also I am harboring a demon, and I will absolutely commit ruthless acts of murder at the drop of a hat, but only if you started it. I don't know that I have a mean one.
To give you a little bit of like a tiny bit of background, and I promise this won't go on too long, for Mage the Ascension, the technocracy is technically an antagonist faction. The main faction is called the Traditions, and they are like a very diverse, very like, we share all magics and we're learning magic together, and we want to change the world to be this beautiful magical tapestry that respects all cultures. Whereas the technocrats are like, nah, F that. Like, we're gonna, no, science is the only way, and we will literally ice everybody who thinks differently. And so I was playing a bad guy. Like, this guy was a villain. And he sort of got out once he recognized, like, oh, wait, like, the numbers aren't adding up here. Like, y'all keep telling me, I'm doing this for the greater good or whatever, but when I look at it, nothing is changing. So I'm going to go make stuff change. And then he became an Elder Goth and joined the Hollow Ones, which is the Goth faction of the... Well, they're kind of their own thing, but they're sort of the Goth faction, and they're... Because he thinks that he can be like... What is it? Like a benevolent billionaire, which... Yeah, that's some... That gets into some intense role-playing with all of the darkness that's in that character. It's like, and you're gonna be benevolent? Okay. Think, if anybody's ever seen the movie New Jack City, which is probably older than most of the people in his chat. He's kind of the Nino Brown character, where he very much sees himself as a Robin Hood sort of the streets, even though he is fantastically wealthy and fantastically ruthless.
So Green Arrow a little bit, maybe.
Yes, but less with the I want to be a hero thing, and more of everybody who doesn't get the hell out of my way needs to die immediately. Rupert is a bad guy. Rupert is a very bad guy.
I would like to clarify, I am 10 months older than that movie.
10 months. Thank you.
I am older than that movie, but only about 10 months. But that's that's something at the very least.
Oh God!
But I also still haven't seen it. But
I'm 10 years older than that movie. I'm just gonna put that out. Anyway,
I think I'm making a vampire character for an upcoming game. And I think I may embrace the jerk and villain.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Embrace. Sorry, continue.
That was an accidental pun, but it's a pun nonetheless.
I love it.
We'll take it. I think the meanest character I've ever done, I guess it was a little over a year ago now. I know it was a little over a year ago now. I was doing a game that was a cross between Savage Worlds and World of Darkness, appropriately called Savage Worlds of Darkness. And so we used the lore from World of Darkness, but the Savage Worlds rule set. And so I was playing a werewolf. And she just, every day was just a bad day. Every day she'd just gotten up on the wrong side of the bed, which was fantastic because we played on Monday nights and I had an hour-long commute either way to work. And so I just took, all of my rage from it being a Monday and commuting super long and just channeled it into that character. And there would be days that, I would be messaging people on the side and be like, I swear I'm really not mad at you. Claudia's just a bitch tonight. Yeah, because she just was never I don't want to be here. I shouldn't, because she was the only werewolf in a party of vampires. There's no reason I should be hanging out with you guys. There's nothing, I want nothing to do with this. Why am I even involved? And yeah, she was just not she was not pleasant, but she was a hell of a lot of fun to play because it's so unlike me typically. I just don't play that type of character very often, so I enjoyed every second of it.
Real talk, Luna, I want you in a Werewolf the Apocalypse game so goddamn bad. You have no idea. All right, let's see how this goes when we crank this to absolute 11. Let's break the goddamn knob off.
Oh, fun.
We shall see.
Wolf Mom Luna 2022.
Yeah.
All right, you heard it here first, folks.
Snap.
All right, well, we are about at the time that we need to start wrapping up. Any questions that we did not have the chance to get to tonight, I will post on our Twitter account probably tomorrow. I apologize if I'm a little slow. I'm on vacation this week, and so I fully am planning to enjoy my day doing absolutely nothing tomorrow. So I will get it posted, and everybody that's here tonight will get tagged in the post, so that way they can all see any questions and all of that good stuff. But I'm going to have everybody go back around again and just remind us of who they are and where we can find them on social media and anything else that they have that they would like to promote. So Casey, we're going to start with you this time.
Hey, like I said, my name is Casey Williams. I'm the Adjunct GM. You can find me on Twitch at that name, the Adjunct GM, and on Twitter at KCT931, though I'm going to be changing that to the Adjunct GM at some point. I just need to get around to it. I am an ambassador for Jasper's Game Day, which is a charity that supports raising money for suicide awareness and prevention. Coming up in 2 weeks, I think on the 28th, though we may change that date a little bit. We have a charity stream coming up for a game called High Hopes in the Kitchen, which is a hack of Honey Heist by Grant Howitt, in which everyone plays cats. My wife is going to be GMing that, and it's going to be a really good time. It's a sequel to a campaign we did last year, which is on YouTube. Otherwise, you can find me on Tuesdays playing games, and Wednesdays as well. Fridays with actual play streams, and Saturdays we're going to be bringing back our cover-to-cover interview stream very soon. So check us out on that. Find me on Twitter for a lot of stuff about books and games and everything in between. Otherwise, hope to see you soon. If you're interested in being on any of those streams, like an interview or in an actual play, I love having everyone who can get in. We learn together. Most of the times we switch systems a lot, and we learn together.
Awesome. Sounds like you have a busy schedule coming up. Well, thank you for coming on and hanging out tonight. And I will help spread the word far and wide that you're looking for guests. So just let me know. Shan, we'll go to you next.
Oh God. Okay, so I gotta wait for the thing to pop up in chat so I actually remember. No,
Wolfblood, get on it.
You can. All right, there we go. Woo! Saved. Thank you, Wolfblood. You're awesome. Yeah. So I mean, for the most part, yeah, you're gonna find me at Fenris Chosen. Got a Patreon, ShanWolf.com. You will eventually, because not yet, you'll catch me on Lunar Howl Gaming. If you join my Patreon, you will see me flailing at attempting to write a mecha RPG based on love and feelings called Iron Stars Burning Hearts. It is going to be hopefully super fast mecha fun, but also how your emotions play into it. Because, playing overwrought. If anybody's ever seen Gundam Wing, everybody's a goddamn overwrought teenager. We're doing that. Because I love Gundam Wing, and everybody's going to be like, but I love you. Fires the gun. Gonna be great. I'm also going to be doing the 2 games I'm going to be streaming are going to be Aramis Towers of Heaven and Isekai Exalted. Aramis is planned for Session 0 on September 11th. There's reasons for that, but I'm a New Yorker and that helps my brain. And then I don't know when Isekai Exalted is starting, but it will be very shortly after Aramis. Like once we get Aramis rolling, we'll check out. We'll get Isekai Exalted off the ground. I've got 2 casts of wonderful players. Everybody's chomping at the bit to go, so we're gonna make this happen. Yeah, so that's me.
I may or may not have snuck over to your channel during the break and dropped you a follow. So,
Cushion?
yeah. Well, thanks for coming to hang out tonight, and I'm looking forward to all of your new content. Remove Disc, tell us about you.
Hello, I am Remove Disc. You can find me on Twitter the very few times that I'm on at same Remove Disc. I do check occasionally, I promise. You can also find me here on this channel on Wednesday nights playing Marktov the Collector.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming to hang out. It was great to see you again.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And we'll go to JV next.
All right. Well, couple things. So you can find my voice and occasionally, honestly, I'm going to point out some of the podcasts that I have been on. If you would like to hear an example of me playing a game, you can go there. Currently, the One Shot podcast is running Heartbeats, and I am in that. That is fun. I enjoyed that. It is deeply unhinged. It is the most unhinged game I have ever played, and I love it a lot. You can also I mentioned Losers a Love Story a little bit earlier, but that is also on the One Shot Network. That is on the Horror Borealis panel overall. It's on there. And you can listen to me there on that, and also on AHB 76. And a fun recommendation, one that is an odd one. An odd one in that it's not so much a game, but imagine, if you will, after that long day of travel, where after that long day of travel in a D&D game specifically, where your characters have arrived at a destination, sort of, or just sort of need to stop for the night in general, imagine if there's an inn. And this inn is just, and that is what the episodes are all the things that occur in that inn and all the conversations therein.
Oh, that's cool.
That is called In Between. I am not in the first 2 seasons, but those are really fun. I enjoyed those first 2 a lot. We are currently recording the 4th season, but the 3rd season is where you can start to hear little me. It's a really good time. It's lots of philosophical conversations happening in there and just fun jokes, and it's a really good time, and very well written. So check that out. It's called In Between. I believe it's at the Goblin's Head on Twitter. It's such a good show, and I feel real blessed to be on it. But in general, if you want to find me, I'm at Red Black Golden, black spelled kind of fancy, BLAQUE, on Twitter. And yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was great to get to know you a little bit. And, I will definitely be checking out some of your work too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And Mel.
Hi, I'm Mel. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at JellyMellyDraws. I stream primarily Saturday mornings where you can just hang out, listen to music, and just see what I'm working on that day, whether it's a commission piece, a personal piece, or if I'm yelling at chat or my cats or any variety. But I'm also in an actual play show twice a week, Thursdays and Sundays on Lionhead Gaming here on Twitch. Our Thursday show, I play my dream druid Persephone in our almost trying to stop the apocalypse fantasy world. We are getting towards the end game, so we've got really high level stuff, a lot of high level magic going on, and a lot of plot. And our Sunday game is Heroes of Thylea, where I play my prophecy tragic nymph cleric Nyx. And that is more of a Greek mythos game. We just started going into what's called Xander's Challenge, which is going to be our last test as the oracle's chosen to see if we are really the heroes that were foretold, that are also supposed to save the world. But at least the world knows it's ending in this one.
That does help. Well, thank you all so much for coming on to hang out, and we really appreciate it. I am Gamer Mom Luna. This has been Tales from the Tavern. We have been here. We're here every Sunday night. We've been here every Sunday night, and we will continue to be here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can also check us out on YouTube if you missed any of the episodes. We upload our content to YouTube every week, and also our episodes are available in Ears Edition, aka podcast form. So you can also check them out there if you didn't get to catch the whole episode, or if you would like to go back and re-listen. And Tuesday nights is our Ripples in the Gray stream, which is a Star Wars Fantasy Flight Edge of the Empire game with a fantastic cast who is going to be welcoming a new cast member. If I am correct, they are planning to welcome a new cast member this week. Call Me They is going to be joining them. So that is very exciting, and we're looking forward to having Lex join the crew. And then on Wednesday nights, as Disc said, you can catch 50 Shades of Crimson, which is our Pathfinder First Edition campaign. And they are, I don't even know anymore, but it's always a good time over there. So you'll have to check those out. We've got some additional content that's going to be coming out this fall, so keep an eye out on that. And next Sunday, if you can make it, we might be celebrating a few August birthdays on the next Tales from the Tavern, which means we're having a party, and parties mean giveaways. So if you can make it, please come. We would love to see you. I think we have 10 items to give away, maybe more. So all kinds of D&D stuff, supplements, gift cards, cookies from Critical Hit Cookies. So we hope to see you then. I was looking to see who of our friends are on right now, but it's a pretty quiet night in the TTRPG sphere for people that we're going to raid. So we are going to calm the night down, and we are going to go pay a visit to our friends Turtles and Chill to calm the evening down. If you haven't checked them out before, I think you're gonna love them. It is literally a 24-hour turtle tank.
Yes.
Oh my god, that is freaking amazing.
It is probably one of my favorite streams on Twitch, and it's nice. It's mellow. They my what I jokingly refer to them as is lo-fi music, hi-fi turtles. So
I'm like just learning about this.
I don't know, but
Sounds like a shell of a time.
all right.
Can we have Casey thrown out of the chat?
Yes, I would like to vote Casey off the island, please.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Like I love you, but no, you have to go away for that. Sorry.